Welcome back, everyone. In the last video, we talked about the chromatic scale as it relates to sharps. And if you didn't or weren't here for that last lesson, this symbol is equal to what we call in music a sharp. That's called a sharp, and the function of a sharp is that it raises a note by a half step. And so then we also had to define, well, what is a half step? And we understood that a half step is this distance. It's any two consecutive notes that are in the chromatic scale. So now what I'd like to do today is I'd like to take a look at the chromatic scale as it relates to flats. And so we're going to write this out here. A, B flat, B, C, D flat, D, E flat, E, F, G flat, G, A flat, and once again we're going to start this right back over at A. So this is the chromatic scale in flats, and so now we have to do some other definitions. Let's talk about, well, what in the world is a flat? So a flat looks like that. It looks like a lowercase b, I like to say with its nose turned up. So I'll rewrite that maybe a little more carefully. So a flat would be something like this. That's more like a flat. It's just sort of a twisted or a turned flat, and the same thing like a sharp we said was twisted as well. So a flat, and the word would just be F-L-A-T, and its function is it's going to do the opposite of what a sharp does. It's going to lower a note by a half step. Lower a note by a half step. And so once again, we figure what is a half step, and it's sort of this distance. And so how do we understand that? Well, we think of G going down to G flat, E going down to E flat. It was lowered. That's why we put a flat on it. D goes down to D flat. B goes down to B flat. A goes down to A flat. And so those are also some examples of flats that we have. Now we can look for some other interesting aspects here. Let's once again look in this same area from this BC and this EF, and we should notice a few things. We should notice there is no, and I'll write this out over here, there is no C flat. We don't have a C flat, and we don't have, nor do we have F flat. So we're missing C flat and we're missing F flat. So this area right here, this is known as what's called a natural half step. So from B to C is called a natural half step, or from E to F, it's what's called a natural half step in the scale. It doesn't matter whether I'm talking about sharps or flats, it's a natural half step. So natural from B to C or C to B, doesn't matter. That is called a natural half step. Naturally occurs in the scale. We don't need sharps or flats to make that occur. So it's called a natural half step. So this is your chromatic scale as it pertains to flats. Let's go ahead and kind of box that up a little bit so you can see it. That is your chromatic scale as it pertains to flats. And so once again, we have the notes A, B flat, B, C, D flat, D, E flat, E, F, G flat, G, A flat, and A. Now, one of the big points that people bring up is, well, wait a minute, are you telling me there are two different chromatic scales? And the answer is no, there is only one chromatic scale. However, there's two different ways of writing the chromatic scale. And so that's something that we are going to explore later in a further video. Hey everyone, thanks for watching. If you've really enjoyed what you've seen so far, please just go ahead and click that subscribe button for me. It'll help keep us going so we can put out more great content for you.